Hello and welcome back. I hope you are all well and doing a little bit of fishing if you can. Today we're going to tie a nymph, and it is the ostrich nymph. In the vise I have a size 14 light nymph hook and a 3.3 black nickel gun, metal, whatever colour you'd like to call it, bead, and I'm tying with 10/0 black thread. So I'm just going to mount the bead. Now this fly has quite a lot of movement. If you've used ostrich herl in other flies, you know that it has a lot of movement in its fibre. So that is what we're aiming for with this particular nymph. Lots of movement. Just trim up the excess thread. Right, I'm just going to wind the thread down the hook shank to the rear of the fly, and I'm using grey ostrich herl. So I'm just going to take off 5 fibres, and we're going to use the end of the fibres as the tail and tie in the fibres like so, and bring the thread back up to the bead. Now I'm just going to twist the fibres just a little to help strengthen them and wind them on up the body of the fly. Like so, up to the thorax area, and tie off the ostrich herl. Wind up my bobbin, and I'm going to trim up the herl fibres. Right, now I'm going to put in a thorax cover, and I'm going to use some pheasant tail, but this is quite a silvery pheasant tail. It's not too dark. So I'm going to take off a few fibres, just snip them off. And I'm going to tie those in. Just level up the butts there a little bit. Just trim them up. Pull them back to length. Tie them in on top. And bind down pheasant tail. Now for the thorax, I'm going to use some UV hare's ear. So I'm just going to take some out. I assume you can see the UV within the hare's ear, and make the thorax of the hare's ear. We are going to brush it out, so don't put it on too tightly, and wind on the thorax. That will be enough. And pull over the pheasant tail for a thorax cover and tie that off. Popping up again. And trim up thorax cover and bind down the rest, and I'm going to add just a little bit more dubbing to tidy up there. and tie off the fly. And trim up tying thread. And as I said, I'm going to brush out some of this dubbing. And there we have the finished fly, the ostrich nymph. Now, as I said, there's lots of movement in these fibres, and you have the added attraction of the UV hairs here. Now, when it's wet, it fines right down. It looks something like that. Who would not be attracted to the ostrich nymph? I hope you enjoyed the tying. Thanks very much for viewing. Do give it a like, become a subscriber if you're not already a subscriber, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.